Well, good afternoon to you, and thank you for joining us. I'm Jurnee Taylor here with meteorologist Nathan Scott. And Nathan, today, a decent day, but we should not be confused. We still have a small chance of severe weather possibly on the way.
It's going to be a changeable day across the state, Jurnee. We had some clouds this morning. Now those clouds are starting to break, seeing some sunshine here in central Arkansas after a dreary start to the day. But we do have the potential. There could be some strong, possibly severe thunderstorms. Here's the latest from the Storm Prediction Center now. We do have a 2 out of 5 or a slight risk for Little Rock and off to the north and west today. And then still the severe weather chances remain in place on your Wednesday. Out there right now, the radar pretty quiet here in central Arkansas, but I'm watching a few downpours from time to time skirt their way across Pope County and also into Logan County. This is not severe, and actually we did have that severe thunderstorm watch earlier this morning. That has been allowed to be canceled for a large part of the state. Just a few counties in northeast Arkansas remain under that severe thunderstorm watch until 3 o'clock this afternoon. So here are the temperatures warming up in a hurry with that sunshine. We're into the upper 70s already here in Little Rock, 64 in Fayetteville, but still 82 right now in Camden. And watch future radar as we go throughout the day. The best chance of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon will primarily be 4 locations north and west of Little Rock. But see that complex of storms that rolls its way in here tonight? Those storms could also be on the spicy side, and more storms in Oklahoma will move through here later on Wednesday. Lots to talk about. We'll have another look at future radar and have everything you need to know coming up.
Nathan, thank you. Well, new at noon, the Arkansas Department of Health reporting a new measles case this week, bringing the state's total for the year to 4. Here's what we know right now. The child, who was not fully vaccinated, lives in Faulkner County. ADH says there's no record of them traveling out of the state, meaning this is the first case of community spread here in Arkansas. Now, the agency also shared that the person visited Conway Regional Greenbrier Family Medicine and Irby Dance Studio while infectious. In national headlines, tragedy this afternoon in Illinois after a car drove through a building housing an after-school program. 4 students were killed and several others injured. The story unfolds in Chatham, just south of the state's capital. Ian Lee is at the scene.
The agony was palpable as residents in Chatham, Illinois Monday learned the news.
Somebody rolled through the daycare.
There's 4 kids on the carts up there.
Killed some kids. Those are kids.
Oh no!
Yeah, those are kids.
Oh, poor Dennis.
According to police, just after 3 p.m., a vehicle crashed through a wall at this after-school camp, hitting several people inside before exiting the other side.
I need at least 4 ALS ambulances to this location now.
State police say at least 4 were killed, including 2 7-year-olds, an 8-year-old, and an 18-year-old. All were female, while several others were injured. Authorities say 3 of the deceased were struck outside the building and another inside, leaving a gaping hole on the side of the structure. At least 6 people were transported to the hospital, 1 by helicopter. The driver was also taken to the hospital, but was not hurt.
Something like this happens, it just makes people's knees buckle. I just hope we can come out of this as a stronger community because we're very tight-knit.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker echoed that sentiment, saying, quote, "My heart is heavy for these families and the unimaginable grief they're experiencing, something that no parent should ever have to endure." State police do not believe this was a targeted attack, but they're still investigating. Ian Lee, CBS News, Chatham, Illinois.
Well, it's day 2 in the trial of 3 former Memphis police officers charging the death of Tyree Nichols. Tydarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith all face several charges, including murder in the 2nd degree and aggravated assault. Nichols was beaten during a traffic stop in January of 2023. He died 3 days later. The jury had heard opening statements yesterday, and testimony in that case is now underway. Now, you can watch that unfold in real time on THV 11 Plus and on THV11.com. We will have that live stream available for the entirety of the trial. President Trump is celebrating his first 100 days in office by highlighting his economic accomplishments. He's headed to Michigan for a rally with supporters. The trip to the key automotive hub comes as the administration considers easing auto industry tariffs. THV11 has learned the president will sign an executive order today easing the 25% tariff for steel and aluminum for automakers, while the separate tariff on imported cars is expected to remain in place.
The goal here is to bring back the high quality industrial jobs to the U.S.
The latest CBS News poll shows President Trump's approval of handling the economy has declined in recent weeks. More than 60% of those surveyed said he's too focused on tariffs and not enough on lowering prices. The Trump administration's downsizing efforts will lead to closures and reduced hours at federally managed lakes and campsites. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers district in Omaha plans to shut down or scale back operations at campgrounds, boat ramps, and visitor centers across 30 sites in 6 states. Officials say the changes stem from staffing shortages caused by the federal hiring freeze that began in January. So far, the Little Rock district has not announced any closures. Parents and students are sharing their concerns about a possible merger between Arkansas Lighthouse Charter Schools and the Jacksonville North Pulaski School District.
A merger would not just blend 2 schools, it would erase the heart and soul of what makes Lighthouse special. This school has been more than just a building for our family. It has been a foundation for stability, connection, and growth, something that cannot simply be relocated or replaced.
In a meeting last night, dozens from charter school voiced their issues with the idea, saying they're worried that joining the public school district would do much more than just change where students goes. The school district says that's not the case, adding that these are just discussions, but most parents say that if the merger goes through, their students will not go to the schools. Despite the pushback, LaShonda Noel, the CEO of the school, says they did listen to concerns and ideas for ways to move forward.
So we heard our parents, and we are considering next steps and possible solutions to what it is that we're going to do next.
The school says that declining enrollment rates are the reason they started talks with the district. We're also following updates on the latest push to lift Sherwood's pit bull ban. The effort has come up just short. After a lot of back and forth, the city council decided to keep the ban in place on a split vote. The ordinance would have lifted the current ban, replacing it with the rules for any dog deemed dangerous instead of breed-specific rules. Authorities in Pine Bluff are ramping up efforts to remove junked and wrecked cars from city streets and vacant lots. A new ordinance requires that abandoned vehicles be moved or face towing. Code enforcement now has more power to move cars from right-of-ways, vacant lots, and private property. This means abandoned, wrecked, dismantled, or inoperable cars are at risk of being towed. The process begins with a ticket or a tag placed on the vehicle, followed by a warning notice. After that, vehicle owners must either comply or appeal to the Code Enforcement Board.
Our code enforcement department realized that there were some things they needed to do to strengthen the existing ordinance around wrecked vehicles. They'll give them 24 hours to remove these vehicles if they're in the public right-of-way, and then they'll have 72 hours to remove them if they are on a vacant lot or a lot with an abandoned structure.
Non-working cars can stay on private property if someone lives there. Similar rules are already in place in Little Rock and North Little Rock.